Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Sobia?
Alhamdulillah, Malik. How are you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We're here again on another great day and another great Instagram live talk.
Apologies, everyone. I've got the flu, so if my voice sounds funny, yeah. So Malik is going to be doing mainly the talking today.
Nothing new.
Yeah.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings, everyone. Good to have you all on board with us today for another great talk. Another great talk for us. So enrich your life with coaching. Enrich your life with coaching. What's it all about? How does it work? Why should I do it? How much does it cost? Is it really real? Or is it just hocus pocus? You know, those are the things that come up. So let's look at that as we go through the talk today. Brilliant. Life coaching comes in various different forms. I started life coaching years ago. In fact, rewind, because I actually started life coaching without knowing I was doing it. I've been in martial arts as a martial arts instructor more than 30 years plus, alhamdulillah, and coaching people was something that I did, not in a structured framework. And then later on, studying life coaching with different academies I studied, and then NLP. Then I got into more structure and started to find it as a niche through careers. I was doing a lot of career coaching, more than 15 years. It was brilliant, loved it, enjoyed it, very demanding. But then found that it then led into doing other areas of coaching with people's personal lives, coaching with people through their fears, motivation, and assisting people to achieve more, which is the definition of life coaching, empowering others to be able to make choices and decisions that help them to grow and make progress.
And that's a good point there, Malik, that coaches look at your whole life, your environment, your circumstances, your relationships, just to get into the inner depth of you and to see your self-worth, your self-limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm. 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 You're coming from the healing side, healing coaching, which emotions and
yeah. So I'm like, what I come from I'm a therapist, so I tend to look at people's past. So we look at self-limiting beliefs, root causes of issues, see the cycles, and then we make after we start building up with boundaries and start removing certain traumatic experiences, detaching emotions, we then look towards the future. And how does life coaching work?
It's funny because me and you are at a clash there, too, because I always say to the coaches, I always say people I'm coaching, I say, your past is your past. Unless there's something help us to go forward, your past is your past. And they're like, Baba, I said, I don't want to know about the past. I want to go to the future. I want to go to the future. We're using the past. When I'm coaching, I say we're using that past only to help us elevate. And I always say people, it differs from counseling, because counseling, you are reviewing the past. You are reviewing the past and seeing how the past has played out. But then at the same time, I say to them, look, we want to go forward. We want to move to the future and design that future of where you want to be. So again, it's drawing on very similarities, but with a focus on the future.
And that's a very important point, because not every therapy or coach will fit your box. There's so many different type of coaches and therapists out there. If one therapy doesn't work, some other therapy will. So don't stop your search. See whatever you resonate with. I mean, I find with doing the best reason why I got into Afia healing was I'm not a counselor, so I did not want anyone to relive whatever the traumatic experiences they went through. So actually just doing visualization techniques and detaching those emotions by closing chapters, I found that resonated with me, because that's something that I identified with. But it's interesting to see, like for me, since we've been developing this series, it's big. Like you realize the importance of having a guide with you.
It's massive. It's massive because, I mean, all right, just to give some figures, you know, there's between 80 to 100,000 coaches in the UK alone. 80 to 100,000 coaches in the UK alone. And then you look in just the UK, the value they were saying is $11 billion in the UK. The value in America is $15 billion industry. So there's a lot of people who are coaching. A lot of people, and just to add as well, I don't know how the dynamics is, but it says that majority of life coaches and majority of coaching people are women. Majority are women coaching. So I know the famous one was Fiona Harris, who was the her book Field Affair and Fiona Harold, Field Affair and Do It Anyway. I think that's the title of her book. I will description when we put the video up. I think it's Field. And that again, she's. Am I back? Oh, cut. Am I back? No.
One day, Malik, we should run our books. We could do the live in itself. Can you hear me? I said one day we should actually show our live.
Definitely.
You and me can actually build a
video. Stopped. Has it stopped? Am I back with you?
Apologies, I think that's on my side. When it rains, I'm affected. Apologies, everyone.
I'm back with you now. I've got you now, so we're good now. Yeah, no, definitely. That'll be good. We'll have a look at the books. Maybe we'll go for our books and do a book review. Yeah, be nice to do that. It's amazing. You look at the difference in coaching styles, because there's in life coaching or coaching, you've got 4 major styles. You've got the democratic style, authoritarian style, holistic style, and then you've got the what's the 4th one? Democratic, holistic, authoritarian. I remember it'll come back.
Like militarian, because you associate military life coaches to be militant, to actually standing there with a whip saying hurry up. But coaches aren't like that.
No. Well, sometimes I'm like that, because I say to people, it's tough love. I say to people, we've got to get things done. And I've got several clients who have said to me, they've said it. Well, in fact, no, rewind, because I with the career coaching, I would say at least 99% of my clients always said to me they didn't like me in the beginning. And I said, that's fine. Nobody does, because I'm getting you to do what you have to do to achieve what you want to get to. So I can't expect you to love me for pushing you that hard. But all of them at the end were over an abundance of gratitude. And I can remember one of my clients, especially, who I coached with career coaching, he even named his son after me at the end, when he had his first child. So
that's powerful.
Yeah.
That shows what impact you made to their life.
Yeah. Sometimes you do, we're pushing people sometimes to close to their boundaries or beyond their boundaries, because we see further from what they can do, and we want to help them achieve that, but not making them do what is unreasonable, unacceptable, but only to achieve their goal,
It's like, Malik, I was watching the self-defense testimonials that you did over the weekend, and I loved that, because going through the pandemic, we were taught to fear. Our fear heightened. And actually having these group of men, women who can actually then go on to do self-defense classes, you're removing one fear. You're giving them one stage of empowerment. And it's amazing to see just one session had such a growth, where the video you added, where the sister with the lovely name, Tamim.
Tamim, that's her name. That's right, Tamim. Yeah.
And it's actually like, breaking down karate boards. That was just amazing.
I'm going to put that link in. Thank you. I'm going to put that link in, and it's on 5 Pillar TKD official. The link where she came. So she came to the self-defense, women's self-defense session. She'd never done martial arts before, and she left. And as she left, she said her head and shoulders were perked up, and she was waiting for someone to attack her, just so she could try out her techniques. She confidence. But she had to take the first step to actually enroll on the course, to say, let me try and do it. It is that first step in anything you do. And coaches, anything we do, if we look at our life, if we have the support of somebody in what we're doing and somebody who's qualified in that area, specialist in that area, then you find that you're going to achieve what you want to achieve, or you're going to get closer to achieving what you want to achieve. You're definitely going to make that progress in the right direction. But too many times what we say, and that touches on the money side again, as I say, when we say there's so much money in coaching, is you have to pay for coaching. The average fees for coaching, like it varies in the UK, and it's between 75 to £250 per hour for a coach. And people say, I'm not paying that. I'm not going to pay. You say, well, don't do it. You know, you say people don't do it. And you say, you'll see the results of where you are. Maybe you might make it on your own. Maybe you won't. But let's be honest, you know, statistics and averages show that only 1 in 5 will really make it on their own. Yeah. The rest of us will need the support. 3 of us will need the support. One person will give up, you know. So you say, why invest so much money? But then you say, but it's like anything. You're the most important person. You need to invest in you. And to add to that, I say with the money side of it, because people will say, oh, money, no. But if you were given the coaching for free, or going to a doctor's appointment for free, or going to the school, the value you're going to attach to it isn't going to be that much.
Yeah.
Once you've got to part with something, you suddenly commit to it because you've parted with that exchange to improve.
And it's an investment to yourself.
That's right, investment.
You deserve it. There's nothing to feel guilty about it. It's for your personal growth.
Yeah, 100%. You know, your growth. If you're going to grow, you're going to need to challenge yourself. You're going to need to invest in yourself. And if you want to be developing yourself, then you have to commit, and that requires financial commitment. That requires your time commitment. Also requires your sacrificing of certain things. So you might have to restrain or change your approach to how you're doing certain things.
Definitely. And you know what I always reiterate, and I'm discovering that myself, is when you are going through your life, you need to really look at the whole angle of your life. So that's nutrition, eating the right food for the state that you're in. And secondly, exercise is so important. Coming back to intentions and even first step, even when we do salah, that's the first thing that we're actually taught. Do your intention, make the first step by saying Allahu Akbar. But it's interesting. It comes, these are the habits we should be picking up. We should be reflecting on a daily basis.
Yeah.
If you could actually give anyone any tools to actually say how to start your day and make the changes, what would you do?
Well, the first thing I would say, and this is one of the things in coaching, I normally start with the first thing is discovery. So I try and discover about the person, discover what it is about that person. Very important discovery questions, because with the discovery, you get to know how that person thinks, how that person paints a picture. And then the next tool, which is one of the most widely used tools in coaching, is about mindsetting and planning. You're looking at your planning. So how are they going to plan now? So how to set goals, how to plan with their mindset, because you've already got a discovery about who the person is. Then you're looking at how they use that mindsetting and their planning, how to set those goals. Once we start to establish that, then you can start to then use the next tools of coaching, which is what tools am I going to use with this client to help them move forward? Because as you said rightly, there could be something that, and I would say it's mentally, physical, spiritual, whether someone's highly connected or not, whether someone's physically active or not, whether someone's mentally engaged with, you know, learning and developing or not. Then you find what level they've got their commitment, and then you can find, right, are they really going to be able to aim to that goal they've set using the GROW model? You know, goals, reality, outcome, and willingness to commit. You find with the GROW model, which is widely used for coaches, you find that someone has a goal. What's the reality of them that they really want this goal? The opportunities about that goal that they're going to be able to get there, and then the willingness to commit. This is where a lot of people, they fall down. The commitment side becomes very low, you know, and that's why when you say to yourself, setting those goals, as Les Brown says, one of the motivational speakers of the world, he says, aim for the moon, and if you reach the stars, you've got a lot closer than what you would have expected. You know, if you say I'm only going to aim for the sky, then you know you say aim high, aim big, but be realistic. Are you going to commit to that? And that's what coaching's about: bringing the tools to help you achieve what you want to achieve. Most of the coaching work, and we've said it in our videos before, so most of the coaching work is the client bringing forward about them, what they do, how they are, and then we just fine tune it and say, well, let's try this approach to get a solution to where we want to go. So providing the right tools, the right framework to work with it.
And that's brilliant to hear this step-to-step guide, because when I know when people come to me, they don't realize that everything's tailored to their needs and their target setting. Because the first thing we do ask as therapists is, what is it that you want? What is your outcome with me? What do you want to achieve from our sessions? So it's interesting to see that how important goal setting is.
Massive important. You know, if we aim for nothing, we usually achieve nothing.
Yeah.
And if you aim for something, you usually achieve something. I tell you all the time, I say to my clients, you know, have an aim. When we wake up, I mean, in our family, in our home, so we have our morning meeting. And I always ask the children, what are we aiming for today? And, you know, they're used to it now because it's a ritual where every morning we have it, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 10 minutes, never more than 15. But, you know, 5 minutes, could be just sometimes even 2 or 3 minutes. And we say, what are we aiming for today? And they've learned that going to school isn't just about going to school to be taught something. It's about learning something and providing also what they've learned. Because we might read a story before school about a famous person. We might have a quiz or something. We do different things in the morning meeting. And then it's for them now to go to school and challenge themselves with learning something new. But also when they come back, which is one of the things as well, which is expanding people's mind, is I ask them, what do they fail at? I don't want to know what you succeeded. That's great. Everyone succeeds at their times tables if they've done it many times. But what did you fail? Because when you fail at something, that's challenging you. And now we can start to learn. Then we can start to learn to make that progress.
And I love that you've started from your children. We tend to think we start coaching later on in life, or when our children go for the activities, let them be coached then. But we are our children's coaches.
I add to that that although I stand and I'm dad and I'm the coach and yeah, it's me, but my children actually coach me and they share quotes. So we share quotes. So sometimes they make their own quotes. And I say, you know, when I look at my running videos, which I did A to Z in running on the page, you find it. And some of the quotes were from my son, my daughter. I look and say, that was a great quote. I'm going to use that. That's a great quote, because you can get inspiration from anywhere and anyone at any time if you're open to it at any ages, you know. So yeah, it's a great start to the day. Great start to the day.
That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, like for me, when people come to me, the first thing I want to see is if in the day, you know, they are actually getting reflection time where they're actually sitting down, time of looking at their just list of worries, just their concerns, what are concerning them, and actually just telling them, you know, what is your problem? Just sit with those emotions. Then, what solution do you derive from it? And it's funny because through our life, this is not what we're taught. We're not taught. We know there's a problem. We acknowledge the problem, or we try to hide from it. But it's interesting how to overcome it. And this is very
how to overcome.
Yeah.
I
love these little meetings. I'm going to start doing that with my children. The light bulbs.
It's a great morning. Like I say, that morning ritual where the meetings there. It's a great and I know when we've missed one or two, I do miss it. If we don't do it, we all miss it. Like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like a part of the day, you know, which is it's really important, really important. Brilliant. And I find it is something, again, when you're looking at that, you're trying to say to yourself, you know, you're looking at, and that is the purpose of coaching. Coaching is there to enrich your life, to empower you. It provides the tools and the solutions for you, a tool for you to make the right choices to get the solutions. But you have to make the first step. It was Martin Luther King who said, even if you don't see the stairways, take the first step. and you think, well, where am I going? You're going in a
Yeah.
different direction. You're going in a different direction, you know. So it's really important that that people do understand that coaching is there to empower. It's very, very easy because 80% of people will always say the same thing and do the same thing. As Einstein said, it's madness. You know, people will say coaching doesn't work, or this positive thinking and happy-go-lucky doesn't work.
Yeah.
I've tried it, and look at me, or look at you. And when you say to people, Natasha, when you look at people, you say to them, and you say, hold on a minute. You say, but have you tried? A client I was coaching last week, he said he's tried everything. I said, but I've just met you, so you haven't tried what I'm giving you. Yeah, but I've tried everything. I said, but we haven't tried what I've done. And when we spoke, he suddenly realized he hadn't tried what I'd done. Did it work? No, it didn't work. But it was another option for him to try. So sometimes you say to people, it's not immediate that you're going to see the result, but you have to try different options. Have to try different, and that's where coaching is wonderful. Nobody of success is going to achieve their best without a coach. We look at people of all different backgrounds, all different beliefs, all male, female. Once they've had the support of a coach, you find that they're able to enrich their life and become the best of persons that they can be in all spheres, whether it be day-to-day job, being a mother, being a father, family, relationship. You get that extra help, you find that suddenly you're looking at things from a different perspective. And a lot of times we look at things from what we see it as, whereas if we could be the fly on the wall and say, actually, it looks a bit different.
And it's true. I'm like, when I look back at growing up, my mum had her like ladies who literally empowered her. They were the guides, and you know, like they actually pushed her during her difficult times. And as human beings, we need that connection. But somehow along the way, that connection is diminishing, and it's a very sad reality that we're in. And with this pandemic, we're a bit more disconnected with humans, and you know, we're coming. Hopefully, we're getting out of this pandemic. But one quote for me that means so much is one by Napoleon Hill, and this is the one that my husband always tells me, and I had to write it down. It never stays in there. But what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So that's
Yes.
very important to actually think of your plan, think of your goals, think of how you want to see yourself. And sometimes what
Powerful.
happens is, as we're going into adulthood, the first thing everyone says is, I'm confused. I'm confused.
Yes. 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 No, that's right. What the mind conceives, you can achieve. And it's that confusion. That's again coaching to bring you out of that confusion, because you take on board the coach as like a mirror, which again we look at like a visionary board. You look at somebody who's there with, okay, so you've said X, Y, Z, and actually X means this and Y means that. And then when they reflect on it and understand it, you say, actually, we can see it from different perspectives, or understand it through different lenses, and then use it to get different outcomes. You know, one of a great quote that one of my students gave me for martial arts was about use the anger as fuel, to do something positive. I think it's from a footballer or something. Sorry, I'm not a brilliant football person, but it's about using that anger as fuel. And I always say to people with coaching, I always say it's great that you're angry. It's great you've got an angry attitude, because if we use that anger now to help you drive forward, then we can start to see a result. So that's why I look at people and say, you know, those quotes are meant to inspire us. Those quotes are meant to change what's up here to produce better
Especially
results.
if you reflect. And that's very important. We read it, but we don't actually sit back, take it in, and sit with it. And that's so important.
Yeah, they you know, you look at it, and like you said there, we had so many people that we used to be able to speak to, but our relationships have changed, the way we approach things have changed. And you say, well, how do I now reconnect? And you say to people, well, go out there and get support, whether it be that we're talking about coaching specifically, but you know, you look and you say, enrich your life. How do I enrich my life? You put something in, you know, that there's a famous part by Oprah Winfrey. She says, my cup runneth over. And you say, well, that means she's put into her life enough to help her develop, and now she's pouring over to help others in abundance.
Yeah.
And that's where the greatest joy comes through. For me, coaching, I love it, love it, love it. I've just got a quote there. Somebody just said, Natasha, brilliant. What did she say? Your thoughts, manifest your thoughts and your goals. Spot on. Spot on, Natasha. Thank you. That's spot on. You manifest your thoughts and your goals. It's that part there is what it is. You manifestation comes, your thoughts and your goals. It's now getting someone to push you to take action. And a lot of times it will be someone who the coach will be, well, it coaches someone who's not in your family, someone who's out external, because then you can take back to your family this new approach to help you now go forward to achieve your goals. Yeah, goal setting is a massive part of life coaching. You know, you have to set goals, have to work towards goals, and then you find that as you're working towards those goals, you find it's like climbing that mountain. I think it was on your post a couple of weeks back. We still keep climbing. Are we there yet? We still keep climbing. Yeah.
Whether you're therapists or coaches, the one thing that we both agree on is that reconnection to oneself, and it's very important. You need to reconnect to yourself. You need to actually know you. You need to actually get to know your abilities, your strengths, your weaknesses, and all that the coaches actually do is see your blind spots and work across that. See your limiting beliefs and work across that. And you know, this is how a person from the outside can actually aid you to move forward. And that type of a check, it's like a MOT that you're doing to your own body for you to actually see, okay, where am I going in my life? Where am I navigating in my life? It's so important.
Spot on, spot on, spot on. So, no, spot on, spot on. It's that MOT for you're checking for your life. It's a once in a, you might do it once in a year, or you might do it several times in a year, or consistently. So I work with clients where I have micro coaching, which is 7 minutes coaching. So it tends to be either morning or evening, just rapid 7 minutes coaching with them. Quick check-in. Then it's half an hour coaching that I'll do with some people, or 45 minutes, which is regular coaching. And it varies for the person what they require and what they want to do. And sometimes I will say with a lot of clients, say, I've been with you a certain amount of time. Now we're going to gradually scale down, or we're going to now scale up, because you have to be willing to let go as well, and they've got to be able to grow. So it's really important working out, what is it you want to achieve? What is it you want to achieve? What's your goal? What do you want to do? And then we go through that model just to try and say, well, what are your aims? You know, if you could be anything, as I say, people, anything in the world, what would you want to do? And then we look at, is it realistic for you? Is it realistic in terms of, if you say, can I walk to the moon? Well, we know that's beyond realistic, but it's a good, you know, dream. But we say, is it realistic? Once it's realistic, then we say, let's work to get a plan now towards that goal. And holistically, that's where the coaching approach comes, where you say, well, we have to look at all areas of your life to see where are the areas that are supporting you for this and where the areas that are not. And once you've got someone who's really holding you to account, because it's holding you to account, once you're held to account, you find that suddenly you start to become more responsible as a child, as a teenager, as an adult. You become more responsible, and then you suddenly realize that you tap into what I always say to people is untapped potential for an adult. Adults have so much potential, but because adults become very comfortable with, it's okay, I don't want to rock the boat, things are just going okay right now. Well, things can improve, things can be better, regardless of pandemic, regardless of, you know, crisis around the world. Things can be better, but we only have to be able to get, as Natasha said there, the thoughts, and then get our goals to say, let's focus on where we're going. And like you said there, so the MOT, check in with someone, check in with a coach, someone that you've heard of, someone you've known or referred to, and say, and I would add as well, I'd add, check in with a coach that you may be, is obviously respectful, but check with a coach that's not going to just make you feel good. When you get comfortable with someone that makes you feel good, you're not going to really achieve nothing but smiles and, you know, niceness, which is good, but you want to check with someone that's going to really push you, someone that you might not feel totally that comfortable.
Definitely, because a guide is getting you out of your comfort zone and pushing you forward.
Full on, full on, full on, full on, full on. Please do put your thoughts or comments in the box below. Just trying to check there. Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, spot on. Agreed. Agreed. Tasha, yeah. Accountability is so important. That's the part where people. It is because so when I say to clients, I'm coming to meet them, and I'm expecting X, Y, Z to have been completed, and I say to them, my coaching approach is everyone's unique with their approach. And I would say, look, we're going to be wasting a lot of time, and I don't have time to waste. I say we're going to be wasting a lot of time if you haven't done what you're supposed to do. Because then we're just going to sit there and start going for a whole lot of reasons which are just excuses. It's either progress or excuse. It's progress or excuse. You've got to pick one. I always say to me, you've got to pick one. It sounds harsh. It sounds tough, but the result is real. We want to achieve that that result. So you have to be accountable.
Changing that narrative of your self-talk, because normally we are very harsh to ourselves in a way where we can't do this. We're looking for all the negativities. We can't do this. Sometimes it's actually somebody just telling us, you can do this. It's like when I've been working with children, I find that how the parents speak to the children believe it. If a parent says, you're stupid, the child grows up thinking, oh, I'm stupid, or I'm clumsy, and I'm meant to be clumsy, because, they get into that pattern, and it's actually breaking down those patterns to say, no, you can actually grow. You can, it's a stage, and that's why whenever we look at talking to our children, talking to ourselves, it should be in a softer, positive way. Because I was reading a book, I can't remember the title of it, but it did say 8 times in a day we give our children negative talk, and we might just give one positive affirmation to them, and that's scary.
Spot on. The amount of parents. So I work a lot with teenagers, but the amount of teenagers that I've coached, and I've had to now transfer and say, you know what, Mom, Dad, you need the coaching.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, you find that many, and I don't blame them, because they are accountable, but I don't blame them in the sense that they've just been conditioned, and unless they've had some unconditioning, then they can't see any more than what they're doing as right. So when I look at the parents there, sometimes I'm coaching a teenager, and I'll say, okay, XYZ has happened, and the parent will say, yes, you see, and straight away continuing that chastisement of the child. And then you have to say, well, hold on a minute, and privately I have to say to the parent, we now need to work on you, because your approach isn't celebrating what they do. Or when you do celebrate, you over-celebrate and buy them the latest fashionable goods that they forget what it's all about. I'm not saying don't buy whatever you want, that's your choice, but they forget what the celebration is about. So you say, as you said there, so be able to actually be responsible for what your tongue says. Be careful, be mindful of what you're saying, because everything you're accountable for. And you just saying to somebody you can do it. The amount of clients I've had who have said, I didn't think I can do it, and with your help I've done it. And those are the same people who, if I had taken them at the beginning where they said, I don't like you, I said, that's great. You're not being rude, just saying you don't like the approach, that I'm very direct, very whatever. And at the end, they've achieved what they've achieved. So I say, it's very important that the way we talk, very important.
And that's amazing, because I see that even like with your wife and children, you all are really celebrating growth by even doing these fun runs and amazing 10 kilometers, and it's brilliant. This is a type of activities we should be doing as a family, because we're giving back in a charity way, but it's also we're giving ourselves a target. Why not do a run on the weekend, raise funds, do it with the community? It's taking part. So important.
Taking part. That like as you said, there's you taking part, and what do you want to do? Because everybody, not just me and you, everybody in this world, whether they believe or don't believe or whatever it is, everybody in this world has a purpose.
Yeah.
And if we don't find what our purpose is, you find that's where most of the anger is with a lot of people. Children, the future, teenagers, next generation, the adults, untapped potential. You say that's where the major problem lies. Where I look at people and I say to myself, you look at teenage crime or teenage violence, and I can almost put it down to almost 5 different reasons. the love is lost, family problems, financial issues, direction, and low self-esteem. And you look at these, I mean, there's other little branches, but mainly it comes to, and you say to people, because they're not able to understand their emotions, be able to connect who they are, and no one's able to guide them, well, they'll go out and they'll do reckless things. And it's
it's a very valid point, because looking at the generation before, we were just taught, get on with it. Just get on. It wasn't sit back, sit in those emotions, then let's work our way through it. We weren't given that guidance per se. It was just get on with it. And normally I find it, like, I see it through the illnesses that people come towards me with. And you can just pinpoint, okay, which part of the body? Okay, have you been having these issues in your past? And you know what a lot of people aren't doing, they aren't reflecting, they aren't making that connection with their health issues and the issues in their life. And it's so important. Your body is meant to carry you through your life. Your mind is so strong, it can get you through anything. Just believe in it, trust in it, and just see the value of it. That's why I think one of my clients always hears, do gratefulness in the morning. Why? Because if you just focus in on one part of your body and just say, thank you for my feet because they're making me move forward, or thank you for my eyes for seeing the beauty in people. If we just pick one part of our body, look at what the purpose of that part of the body is, and then see attach one positivity to it, we would have actually been grateful for 365 parts of our body in a year. And if you think, right, this part is paying me, we can actually make those connections to our emotional issues. And it's very small things, but it's actually bringing you back into your body. And everyone's rushing in this world, and no one has time to actually stop, reflect, make a plan, move forward.
no, so that is, it's magical, because but the only thing I say there with that is because as coaches, as healers, we're attached to the emotion. And if you're attached to your emotions, we're not taught, and I'm not blaming, because again, it's easy to blame, but we're not taught what are our emotions.
Yeah.
How do we handle these emotions? If we learn how to handle the emotions, how to express anger, love, distress, if we understand the emotions, then we're able to and then people say, oh, but I watched a YouTube, I went to this. Yeah, you can get advice and help, but you really need to check in. And then you find, once you check in with the emotions, then you find that you can start to understand, not mastery, but understand, and that as you said there, it's important, because every little step that you do in terms of appreciation or gratitude, it all connects to each other. Every little step. Don't take it for granted. It's every little step, that does build those big blocks.
Brilliant. So any final words, Malik?
Rise up in your goodness. That's all I say to you. Keep on going. Go from going.
Yeah. And for me, I would just say, take each moment as it comes and just stop and reflect. You have so much going on in your life. Your brain's processing so much information, but just stop and reflect in those moments and make that change tomorrow. Make that 1% change, which I learned from Malik from our last session, and I've been loving that.
Make that step, make that change, and reach out. Let's try and see, is coaching going to be negative impact on you, or is it going to challenge you? So I'm looking forward to hearing from people right now to say that coaching is making a positive, or will make positive impact on them, and they want to achieve their big goals. Yeah. Rise up.
So next week's we're doing F. So any ideas, please let us know. And we can't wait to... Sorry, I'm logging out again, aren't I? Next week we're discussing F. So any ideas, please let us know. That'd be really great.
Yes, please. Yeah, message us, please, with your ideas. Thank you, everyone, for all your contributions and for watching and sharing our videos. Really do appreciate it. It's wonderful to hear that the videos that we're doing are just insights and they're actually helping people, which really is what it's all about. So yeah, thank you, Sobia. Thank you everyone.
Jazakallah khair, Malik, and thank you everyone for joining. Hope to see you all soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.